Good morning, students. Today we're going to start a new topic. That's unit number 3, and the title is Empowered Woman Navigating the World. And obviously, it's a prose. So, are you all ready to start the new topic? Yes, come, let's get into the lesson. Okay, class, before entering to the topic, we have to learn the glossaries. So here some list of words are given. These are the important words that are used in this lesson, and it is very important to learn these words to understand the exact meaning that is given in the lesson. So let's learn it. Okay, look at the first word, that is circumnavigating, and it is a verb. The meaning is to travel all the way around something, especially the earth. So look at the next word, indigenously. That's an adverb, and the meaning is naturally, innately, or inherently. Okay, so look at the next word, consonance. So that's a noun, and the meaning is agreement or compatibility between opinions or actions. Clear? So look at the next word, skippered. Skippered is a verb, and the meaning is to act as a master or captain of a vessel, especially a small boat. And look at the next word, that is expedition. Expedition is a noun, and the meaning is a journey or voyage made for some specific purpose, such as of war or exploration. So look at the next word, that is replenishment. That is a noun, and the meaning is restoration of a stock or supply to a former level or condition. And the next word is apprehensive, and the meaning is adjective, anxious or fearful that something bad or unpleasant will happen. Okay, so look at the next word, that is contention. Contention is a noun, and the meaning is strenuous effort, struggling together in opposition. And the next word is auxiliary, and it is an adjective. The meaning is additional or used as a reserve or substitute in case of need. Next one is anticipate. Anticipate is a verb, and the meaning is to foresee or to realize beforehand, or to expect, or to be sure of. And the next one is bioluminescence, and it is a noun. The meaning is the production of light by living organisms. And the next is golgappas. It's a noun, and the meaning is the other term for a pani puri. And the next one is morale. Morale is a noun, and the meaning is emotional or mental condition with respect to confidence, especially in the face of hardships. Clear? So these are the important words that are used in this lesson. Okay, class, now let's get into the lesson. Actually this lesson is completely based on a women crew. They are from the Indian Navy, and they have explored the world, around the world, with the use of a small boat, and the name of the boat is Tarni. Okay, so this is a national project, and this lesson is completely about those voyagers, those female voyagers, and their experiences throughout the voyage. Okay, so yes, let's learn. I'll read it once and you just listen. Look at the first line. Gone are the days where women in India remained indoors unless permitted to go out with an escort. Conditions today have changed thanks to all those women who have fought for their freedom and set a very good example for others. The real power of women, though realized earlier, is currently being projected to the world by the advancement of technology and media. Women occupy almost all the major positions in society. Currently, women's accomplishments are tremendous in many fields. One such achievement is the all-women Indian Navy crew, who circumnavigated the world for 254 days all alone in a sailboat called INSV Tarini. So, what is given in this paragraph is actually they're they're telling about the state of women in India in the earlier stage. They're telling that in the earlier stage women were kept indoors and they were not allowed to go outside without escort in the sense people with safe for her safety. But now, due to the increasing technology and advancement in every field, women are like equal to men and they are like doing many things and they are achieving great goals and almost they are covering up all the major positions in the society. So this story is about one such achievement in the all-women Indian Navy crew who circumnavigated the world for 250 days all alone in a sailboat called INSV Tarini. So the story is all about this particular thing. Clear? Yes. What is INSV Tarini? INSV stands for the Indian Naval Ship Vessel. Tara Tarini is the patron deity for sailors and is worshipped for safety and success at sea. INSV Tarini is the second sailboat of the Indian Navy, the first being the INSV Mahade. It was a 55-foot sailing vessel built indigenously in India by MS Aquarius Shipyard Private Limited, located in Goa. After undergoing extensive sea trials, she was commissioned to the Indian Navy service on 18th February 2017. The boat was named after the famous Tara Tarini temple in Ganjam district of Odisha. The word Tarini means boat and in Sanskrit it means savior. So this is just an introduction or an overview about the INSV Tarini. Actually it is a what is the full form of INSV? Indian Naval Ship Vessel. And the Tara Tarini, it is the name of the boat or the vessel, and it is made by MS Aquarius Shipyards Private Limited, located in Goa, and it is a 55-foot long sailing vessel, and it was the second sailboat of the Indian Navy, and the first is INSV Mahade. So the boat was named after the famous Tara Tarini temple in Ganjam district of Odisha, and the word Tarini means boat and in Sanskrit it means savior. Savior means the protector. Clear? Yes. Look at the next paragraph. INSV Tarini has advanced ray marine navigation suite and an array of satellite communication systems for perfect navigation anywhere in the world. Navika Sagar Parikrama was a project undertaken in consonance with the national policy to empower women to attain their full potential. The project is considered essential towards promoting ocean sailing activities in the Navy while depicting Government of India's thrust for Nari Shakti, that is women power, said Chief Minister of the Naval Staff Admiral Sunil Lanba in his welcome speech. So, INSV Tarini, the boat has an advanced feature, that is a ray marine navigation suite and an array of satellite communication system for perfect navigation anywhere in the world. So these are the special features of that INSV Tarini sailboat. Okay, and what is the project name of the project? Navika Sagar Parikrama, and it was undertaken in consonance with the national policy. For what purpose? To empower women to attain their full potential. And this project is considered very much essential in what? In promoting ocean sailing activities in the Navy while depicting Government of India's thrust for Nari Shakti, and that the meaning is women power. These are the words said by whom? The Chief of the Naval Staff, Admiral Sunil Lanba, in his welcome speech. Clear? The voyage was aimed to showcase Make in India initiative by sailing on board indigenously built INSV Tarini. The special features of the sailboat is that it encouraged use of environment-friendly, non-conventional renewable energy resources such as the wind, collected and updated meteorological, ocean and wave data on regular basis for accurate weather forecast by Indian Meteorological Department, that is IMD, and also collected data for monitoring marine pollution on high seas. So they're telling about some special features about the INSV Tarini, and the main feature of the sailboat is that it encouraged the use of environment friendly and non-conventional renewable energy resources such as the wind, because this look at the picture of that boat. Actually it is a sailboat, and they also use the power of wind with that wind shield like that. Okay, and it also collected and updated the meteorological, ocean and wave data on regular basis for accurate weather forecast by Indian Meteorological Department, and collected the data for monitoring marine pollution. For what purpose? For collecting the data regarding the marine pollution on high seas. Okay, so these are the special features of that sailboat. Indian Navy's sixth women crew. Indian Navy's all-women crew was the first ever to circumnavigate the globe, skippered by Lieutenant Commander Vartika Joshi. The all-woman team has also Lieutenant Commander Pratibha Jamwal, Lieutenant Commander Swati Patrapalli, Lieutenant Aishwarya Bodapatti, Lieutenant Sri Vijaya Devi and Lieutenant Payal Gupta as its crew members. The crew started their voyage on 10th September 2017 from Goa, flagged off by the Defence Minister of India. It was a historic day which would be marked in the navigation history, and globally it covered the expedition in 5 legs with stopovers at 4 ports for replenishment of ration and repair as necessary. Before running to Goa in April 2018, they went around the globe within 254 days and reached Goa port on 21st May 2018. The six-member women crew broke many stereotypes during their record-setting sail. So this paragraph is all about the Indian Navy's 6 women crew. That includes all those members, including Lieutenant Commander Vartika Joshi, Pratibha Jamwal, Swati Patrapalli, Aishwarya Bodapatti, Vijaya Devi and Payal Gupta. So these are the 6 members or the crew members of the Indian Navy's 6 women crew who traveled in the INSV Tarini around the world. They started from Goa port on 10th September 2017 and again they traveled around the world for 254 days, and they reached Goa port on 21st May 2018. Clear? Yes. Class, just take a look at the picture of the 6-member crew. So these are the members, those who have traveled around the world in the sailboat Tarini, and these people belong to the INSV Tarini sailboat. Okay, so this is the picture that was taken during their voyage. Clear? Yes. An interview with the crew members. India's all-women Navy crew, who went around the world in 254 days, have shared their experiences about their great voyage in an interview. Through their personal experience, we really come to know their hardships and unpredictable challenges they have faced all through their expeditions. So now we are going to see or experience an interview session. Okay, listen. Look at the first. The interviewer asking a question. How well you were acquainted with the sailboat before you took up the task? The interviewer is asking the question. And the answer is given by Vartika Joshi. Look at the answer. None of us was acquainted with a sailboat or ocean going boat. None of us had sailed before. None are women officers allowed entry in combat platforms as yet. At first, it was difficult to take the boat out to sea from one point to another, but we slowly built upon it through 3 years of training. So initially, the interviewer is asking a question regarding how well you were acquainted with the sailboat before you took up the task, which means how much you were used to that sailboat before getting into that task. Like that, she was asking, and the answer was given by Vartika Joshi that they never had an experience before. Even in the Navy, also they never allow women officers in the combat platform also, but this is the first time. They faced many difficulties in the beginning, but slowly they built upon through a practice of or a training of 3 years. Okay, that's what said in this paragraph. Again, an interviewer is asking another question. Listen carefully. Can you tell us about the training you had undergone before this expedition? Vartika Joshi is answering the question. We started with some theoretical courses on navigation, communication, and weather prediction. Classroom courses are different from sailing outside, so we were given hands-on training like how to repair things and how to deal with emergencies when the weather gets rough, if there is a medical emergency, and training was needed in tactical aspects as well. So the interviewer is asking about their training experience and what are the trainings they had undergone before entering into this expedition. I mean this voyage. And Vartika Joshi is telling that apart from the theoretical courses on navigation or the classroom courses, they got their experience on given on hand-on training like how to repair things and how to deal with emergencies when the weather gets rough, how to deal with that problem, and how to deal with medical emergencies. Like that, they got training as well in all the tactical aspects. Okay, so that's what said in this paragraph. Aishwarya, another crew member, is also answering the same question. She says that we underwent our basic sail training course in Mumbai at the Indian Naval Watermanship Training Center, that is INWTC, and at various schools in the Southern Naval Base in Kochi. We even sailed on INSV Mahaday to Mauritius in 2016 and 17 and back, and also to Cape Town in December 2016. We were trained for almost 3 years to prepare for the voyage. Since the boat was old, it had minor leaks and repairs. Also, we ran out of water and food soon. So, the trip was a tutorial for us on how to manage food, water, and even electricity during the big voyage. So, Aishwarya, another crew member, she is also answering the question about the training they have gone through, and they got training from the INWTC, that is Indian Naval Watermanship Training Center, at various schools in Southern Naval Base in also in Kochi, that is in Kerala, and they even sailed to Mauritius in INSV Mahaday, that's the previous ship, the sailboat, and again they came back to Cape Town in December 2016, and they also traveled all around the world for the training for around 3 years to prepare for this voyage, and they also got training regarding how to manage food and water and even electricity during this kind of big voyage. Okay, yes. Interviewer again asking a question. What is the selection process? What was the selection process? Now Aishwarya is answering the question. Out of 30 women who had applied, 6 of us were shortlisted based on the little survival skills we showcased. The crew was mentored by Commander Dilip Donde. But after I was told about the flare-ups at sea, I even had second thoughts about joining the team. Interviewer again. How did your family members react when you told them about this expedition? For this question, Vartika Joshi is answering.
Our families did have a hard time, but that was because most of them had never seen the sea. For us, four of us are from the mountains. The first time my parents saw the ocean was when I invited them to visit. But once they saw that were doing well and looking after ourselves, they were quite supportive. They were apprehensive and supportive too. So, first the interviewer is asking about the selection process. For that, Aishwarya is telling about the selection process that around 30 women members were applied for this selection, and around from that they have shortlisted only 6 of them based on their survival skills, they were mentored by the commander Dilip Donde. And again, the interviewer asking another question about their family's reaction towards towards their participation in their expedition. For that, Bhartika Joshi is telling that initially our family members got nervous, and because they have never seen a sea, because four of our crew members are from the mountains, and the first time they saw the ocean was only when they invited them to visit. Okay, so this is the initially they were very afraid of the voyage and all, and later they understood that they are taking good care of ourselves, and then they were apprehensive and supportive, like that she said. Again, the interviewer is asking a question: what were your aims and how did you work to achieve them? So, this is the question asked by the interviewer, and again, Vartika Joshi, the skipper, is answering the question. I wanted to make sure that I complete this journey with ultimate honesty. I didn't set out for a destination. It was the journey that mattered to me the most. So my contention was to make sure that we go by the rules of the circumnavigation, which says that you don't have to use any auxiliary means of repulsion and you don't have to take anybody else's assistance. I grasped that completely. So, for that question, what were your aims and how did you work to achieve them? For that question, Vartika Joshi is answering in her own way. Okay, so she wanted to complete the journey with ultimate honesty, and she never thought about setting a destination. She just wanted to complete the journey that mattered to her very much. Okay, so our contention was to make sure that they have to go by the rules of the circumnavigation, which says that you should not use you don't have to use any auxiliary means of repulsion, and you don't have to take anybody else's assistance. So that particular thing was grasped by Partika Joshi completely. Clear? So now the interviewer is coming with another question. Name that one quality of yours that enabled you to complete this expedition successfully. So for that, Vartika Joshi is answering. Whenever the winds dropped, it wouldn't have taken me even for a fraction of a second to switch on the engine and say, let's go 1 mile ahead. But inside of me, something poked me and said that you have to be honest with yourself, and this expedition has to be done with honesty. I'm glad that we were able to finish it successfully without the use of the engine at all. So, for this question, she has answered in a smarter way. Whenever the winds drop, because the sailboat is using wind energy to propel. Okay, sometimes they have to use the engine, but at that time also, Vartika Joshi thought that whenever the winds dropped, she wouldn't have taken a fraction of a second to switch on the engine and say let's go 1 mile ahead, but inside of her something poked that this expedition had to be done with complete honesty, and she was glad that they were able to finish it successfully without the use of the engine at all. Clear? Interviewer now asking another question. As the head of the crew, how did you involve the team? Now, for that, the head of the crew, Vatika Joshi, Lieutenant Commander Vatika Joshi, is answering. We have all sailed and trained the same amount, and everybody has their own way of dealing with situations. But that was a good thing because we could discuss different ways of solving problems and choose the best one. In fact, I would say it was easier for us to collaborate and work together. So she's telling about the other crew members and their experiences. So they all equally had sailed and trained in the same amount, and everybody has their own way of dealing with the situations and problems. And the good thing about that is they could discuss different ways of solving a problem, and they can choose the best one. In fact, she also said that it is easier for them to collaborate and work with their crew members together. So this is what the answer given by Vatika Joshi for that question. Now for the same question, Payal Gupta, the another crew member, is also answering. Look at the answer. When you are out at sea, teamwork is the most important in the middle of the crisis. Even during the storm, we three people would be out on watch. The other three would be inside, wouldn't be able to rest. Somebody would heat the water, the other person would heat the gloves because it was raining also. So team effort actually helped in navigating through the 20 hours long storm. I feel that if I had been alone, then it would have given a nightmare to deal with the challenges that the sea throws at you. So Payal Gupta is telling about the challenges that they had faced in the middle of the sea. Actually, they have seen many crises in the middle of the sea, but to maintain all those things under control, the main thing is teamwork. And during the storm, three of the crew members will stand outside and watch out the storm, and the three of the other crew members will be inside the boat, and they'll be heating the water and heating the glove because it was continuously raining. And without the teamwork or the team effort, and she says that Payal Gupta says that it would be a nightmare for me to handle all the situations because the storm was continuing for around 20 hours, and it was a long storm, and it would be a nightmare, and we cannot stand this, the single hand against the challenges that the sea throws at you. So this was the answer given by Payal Gupta. The interviewer asking another question. Share your experience about the most challenging task while sailing. So now for that, Vatika Joshi is answering the question. The sea can get really tough when winds are picking up. Those are the times we have to be active and need to anticipate what could be there ahead. In the South Pacific, we encountered a storm where the seas were almost 9 to 10 meters high, and the winds were picking up to 60 to 70 knots. A unit of speed equal to 1 nautical mile per hour is exactly 1.852 kilometers per hour. Okay, so which is about a hurricane force of wind on land. It is normal on sea where there is hardly any land mass to stop the winds. It was also a blissful experience when something broke down, and after a lot of hard work and effort, we were able to fix it together. We will remember these incidents as well because it gave us the strength to move on, and if something went bad, we are able to overcome those challenges. So the interviewer is asking about the challenges that they faced during the task while sailing. So for that, again Vatika Joshi is answering. The sea was really tough for them, and it was like they had the storm in the South Pacific, and they have encountered a very big storm, and where the sea was almost 9 to 10 meters high and the wind were picking up to 60 to 70 knots. So a knot is a unit of speed equal to 1 nautical mile per hour exactly, that is 1.852 kilometers per hour, and which is which is like a hurricane in the land, because in sea there will be no landmass to stop the wind. It will be very flat, right? So the situation was very worse there, and she says that it was a blissful experience, that when something is broken down in the port, and if they repair it and bring it to work again, if they fix it then together, then it will be it will be remembered as a wonderful thing for their whole life. And they have faced many challenges during the storm, and those experiences gave them the strength to move on, and if something went bad, they were able to overcome those challenges found by facing all these kind of problems in the sea. Clear? So the interviewer is asking another question: how adventurous was your trip? So for that, Vartika Joshi is answering: when we were crossing the Tasmania Sea, we witnessed the brilliant southern lights from the sea. It was rare to watch that in those months, that too from sea. We were absolute awestruck as we were not expecting it. To see the entire sky lit up in green light, there was bioluminescence, dolphins swimming in the wake of the boat like our neighbors, and a variety of sea creatures. We spotted a dead sperm whale once, and we thought it was an island from distance. It was so huge. We are not specialists, so whenever we spotted something in the sea, we had to Google it to learn more about the species. So the interviewer was asking about how adventurous their trip was, and for that, Vartika Joshi is sharing her experience, the experience they had undergone, or they have experienced during their voyage. She shares some of them. While they were crossing the Tasmanian Sea, they witnessed the brilliant southern lights from the sea. It was rare to watch in that month, and that too from sea. We were absolutely awestruck as we were not expecting it to see. The entire sky lit up into green. Okay, so have you heard about the southern lights? Just Google it once in your mobile phones if possible, and just check out. It will be the beautiful thing from nature. Okay, just Google it whenever you get time. Okay, and the bioluminescence, that means the natural light emitted by the organisms, living organisms. Okay, they have also seen dolphins swimming, and they were like the neighbors, and the variety of sea creatures. They also spotted a dead sperm whale once when they were in the voyage, and initially they thought that it was an island, it was a mass of land, but when they get nearby, they have seen that it was a dead sperm whale. And all those things, they were not biologists or anything. So whenever they were spotting a sea creature, they have to Google it and learn about more about the particular species. So these are all the adventurous experiences they have undergone during their voyage, said by Vartika Joshi. Interviewer: how did your crew spend the time in the sea? For that, Swati P is answering the question. During circumnavigating, we picked up some hobbies and kept posting pictures of delicacies like golgappas and cakes. We also read books when the weather was pleasant and did some quilling and some craft work. While team leader Joshi read comics and the Ramayana during her journey, I loved cooking as well, so I indulged in baking. I also liked crafting a lot, so I used to make lampshades. I love it when people appreciate the food that I cook, so I gave my crew members the best dishes that was possible on land with the limited resources that we had on the boat. So the interviewer now asking about how your crew members spend the time in the deep sea. So for that, Swati is answering the question. During their circumnavigation, they picked up some hobbies and kept posting pictures of delicacies. And they delicacies like Golgappas. Have you heard of Golgappas? We have seen the meaning in the beginning itself. They were doing some quilling, craft working, and Vartika Joshi was reading some comics and Ramayana during the journey. And Swati loved to cook, and as well as she indulged in baking. She also liked crafting, and she used to make lampshades like that. So when she also loved when people appreciate her for the food she prepared, and it was so delicious. And when the crew members appreciated it, she loved it the most. Okay, so this is how the crew members spend their time in the deep sea. So Vartika Joshi, 6 is a great number. We were always entertained. We watched movies, listened to music, and you won't believe some of the goodies the crews rustled up in our tiny pantry. Even while sailing in rough seas, we made parathas, baked cakes and breads, and even made halwa and rasagullas. We celebrated festivals at sea. When we think about it now on land, we remember the Diwali we spent at sea. We celebrated 3 birthdays, including the first birthday of the boat, also specific occasions like crossing the equator, the international date line, and such. So Vartika Joshi adds some more interesting informations, like they have watched movies, they listen to music, and they cooked delicious foods including parathas. They baked cakes and breads, and even made halwa and rasgulla. They also celebrated the festivals at sea, particularly Diwali they have celebrated in the sea, and 3 birthdays they have celebrated. And the first one was the birthday of the boat, and they also celebrated the day or the specific occasion, like crossing the equator and the international dateline day. Okay, so these were the things the crew members enjoyed during their voyage. The interviewer is asking another question. What motivated you to fulfill the country's expectations? So for that, Swati P is answering. We knew that the entire country was watching us and praying for us, so we never wanted them to have a single day thinking that we are in trouble. We knew that it is going to happen, but the people out there did not know what kind of challenges we were facing. So one of the motives that we kept in mind that was that we did not want to frighten them. We decided that once the navigating was over, we are going to show what we have actually gone through. So the interviewer is asking about what was the thing that motivated them to fulfill the country's expectations. For that, Swati is answering. Our team members, our crew members know that the whole country is expecting and watching us, and they are praying for us. So we never wanted to have a single day thinking that we are in trouble. So we were very sure that we should not share our experience, share our problems with our country's people, and to make them frightened. So we were very sure that at the end of the voyage only we are going to expose our problems that we actually gone through. So like that, Swati said. So now the interviewer is coming with another question. As a woman, how would you consider this expedition? So for that, Vartika Joshi is answering. It is a matter of great honor, and we could have imagined anything better for our cast off. Of course, we being an all-woman team, it is a great boost to women in the country. But as we are going as sailors, and we as sailors have seen that the sea does not discriminate between genders. It is always gender neutral, and we have realized that the gender does not play a role in sailing. But to boost the morale in the country and for more women to take in adventures like sailing, I feel it is great that an all-woman team had been formed to undergo this expedition. So, for this question, that is, as a woman, how would you consider this expedition? Vartika Joshi gave an excellent answer, and she said that it was a great honor to be in the part of a all-woman crew, that too in sailing. But as a sailors, there is no discrimination because the sea never discriminate people on the basis of gender. So there is no discrimination of gender in sailing especially. So but to boost the morale in the country, the many women have to take part in such a adventurous thing like sailing. So she feels that it is great that an all-woman team had been formed to undergo this expedition. So she also says that this particular thing, the all-woman team undergoing a voyage, that thing encourages the women in our country to do some adventurous things in their lives. Okay. Students, take a clear look of this picture. So these are all the crew members of INSV Tarni, and the person who is standing next to our PM, that is their mentor, Dilip Donde. And this picture was taken after the voyage, and the crew member took this picture with the Honorable Prime Minister of India. Who is that? Our Narendra Modi. Okay, so this is the picture that is taken after the completion of the voyage. So this is the only team in Indian Navy to make this such big voyage around the world within 254 days. Okay, so why the lesson is given to you is because women power is something else. Women can do anything if they wish to do that thing. So that's what that is the main thing said through this lesson. Okay, so try to learn this lesson once with the book you have in your home. Try to learn the glossaries, try to learn the hard words in that, do the reading practice regularly, and practice regularly. Okay, so see you in the next class. Take care. Bye.